business. So I'm honored to be with you today. I'm your host, Coco Selman, 5-time founder, impact investor, and creator of the Force for Good business system. So thank you for joining in today. We're going to dive right in. So as we start to look at your life and your business, has your business growth plateaued despite having a capable team? Do you find yourself over reliant on your own effort for everything in your company? Are you craving more prosperity and more freedom in your company and in your journey? And what if you could paint a vivid vision for the next 10 years that energizes not just you, but also your team, and at the same time really accelerates impact, scale, and profit? That, my friend, is why we are here today. I am excited to help you on this journey of finding your way to more impact, scale, and profit. So the next piece here is we're going to talk about this concept called a 10-year impact goal. So what is this 10-year impact goal? It's the primary specific outcome your company hopes to deliver in the next 10 years. So this session is meant to help you really identify a specific goal that's going to help you move everything forward in a very big and magical way. All right, so let's move into here. Here's where you're going to see the impact goal, and you're going to see this week's important tool. It's called the 10-year impact goal Distiller. And this is a tool you can use to really help you get right to the heart of what your impact goal is. So, what is a 10-year impact goal? All right, so a 10-year impact goal is essentially your company's guiding North Star, and it's there for you for an entire decade. It's a specific game-changing outcome you want to commit to actualizing in the next 10 years. So in our Force for Good framework, it's the primary and specific outcome your company intends to actualize over the coming 10 years. This isn't a vague vision. It's a concrete and measurable SMART goal. It's the intersection of purpose and profit. So this is where profound good that you want to achieve and aspire to create through your business meets with the financial success you aim to deliver through your business. So think of it as a point where you're doing good and doing well, and where those two things converge. For example, if your purpose is to empower women entrepreneurs and your profit goal is a thriving, sustainable company, your 10-year impact goal might be something like, by 2035, we will help 1 million women entrepreneurs secure funding for their businesses. Just as an illustration, this gives you an idea of what the purpose would be: empowering women, and meeting profit would be growth through serving 1 million customers. So today, the tool we're using in this masterclass is called the 10-year impact goal. The 10-year impact goal Distiller, and it's a worksheet-based tool, 5 pages long. That's it. Go and pick it up at aforceforgood.biz/weekly-tool, and it will help you actually flesh out what your company's big Mount Everest goal for the next, to help you move towards your vision, can be. So you may be wondering, why 10 years? 10 years seems like a long time. 10 years is very intentional. 10 years is far enough out to actually be ambitious. So we tend to underestimate what we can achieve in a decade, while we overestimate what we can do in a year. So allowing ourselves to set a 10-year goal allows us to really transcend all of our ideas about what we think we can do. And it allows us to imagine the extraordinary, think bigger, and really anything can happen in 10 years, right? So you can achieve literally anything in a 10-year period with your company. So, with clear understanding of what a 10-year impact goal is and what we aim to accomplish, let's see how it fits in the bigger picture of the Force for Good business system. So, moving on here, I want to give you some examples of what your impact goal might be. So, your impact goal could be something like Vita Health, which is a women's health tech company. Their goal is to revolutionize women's health. And their impact goal is to reach 5 million women globally with their integrated health platform focusing on underserved communities. Another example of an impact goal comes from Echo Wearables, which is a sustainable tech apparel company. All right. And this one is where the goal is to wear the change and equip 1 million people with our sustainable health monitoring wearables, promoting wellness and environmental responsibility. Okay, the next one is AgriFriend, which is an agricultural innovation company, and its goal is to empower women farmers. And their goal is to help 50,000 female farmers increase their crop yields by 50% through their eco-friendly farming solutions. So these give you some very specific ideas about what a 10-year impact goal can look like. And notice how they're specific, measurable, achievable, and they're also inspirational. You see how their purpose and profit are right together. They're intersecting. All right, so let's go on here and you'll see this is where the 10-year impact goal fits into the Force for Good system. So we're always coming back to this 4-page growth plan, and it's our key to helping you grow your business. In 4 pages is everything you need to know to unlock the puzzle of growth in your business. So this 4-page growth plan is one of the 3 essential tools that you can get when you sign up at forceforgood.biz/weekly-tool. And you can get this download today, this plan, and it includes all of the core growth elements. And so today's core growth element is this 10-year impact goal. And you can see that it fits on the first page of the 4-page impact plan. So it has 4 pages, and right here on the first page at the top is the section where we talk about knowing your purpose. And the other areas we cover in the 4-page plan is knowing who you serve, your customer, and then knowing your impact plan. And so this element of the 10-year impact goal sits right here on the first section. So you have inception story, core purpose, 100-year vision. And the next thing is the 10-year impact goal. And the 10-year impact goal is a subset of your 100-year company vision. It's saying, okay, if my vision is out here into the future, then 10 years into the future is where we're going to land. So by placing this goal on your 4-page growth plan, you will ensure it aligns with all the facets of your business, all of your strategy. It will connect and help you actually increase impact, scale, and profit. And it becomes that guiding star that your short-term plans point towards. This 10-year impact goal is it's here in this know your purpose section, but it'll also take place. You'll find it comes later on in the plan too, because when we get on to page 3 and 4, we start to build your strategic plan, your growth plan, and it starts with this same impact goal. So your whole plan is really organized around it, and it's because it's at this intersection between impact, your purpose, and your profitability and scale, that it allows for you to, when you hit that goal, you hit the jackpot. You hit everything that's important and valuable to you. So let's go right now and download the 10-year impact goal distiller. You can get it for free through April 13th at aforceforgood.biz/weekly-tool. You can get it right there and you'll be able to move right through it. So there's 3 parts to this 5-page tool. Explore the impact you crave, select your 10-year impact goal, and test, edit, and finalize. So we are going to go right into it and start with part 1. All right. So part 1, here we are. Part 1, first page, is all about exploring possibilities. So before setting a concrete 10-year goal, we need to open up our imagination and consider the full scope of the impact we want to make through our company. So this Distiller tool starts by getting you grounded in your why and your big vision. So first, reconnect with your core purpose and your 100-year vision. So at the top of page 1 here, you're going to write down your core purpose and your 100-year company vision. And so I encourage you right now to write them down, right on the worksheet or wherever you're taking notes. Now, if you haven't crafted one yet, a core purpose or a 100-year vision, no worries, because you can always use the tools that we have in place for you to do that. We have a separate tool for the core purpose and a separate one for the 100-year vision, and we have master classes for those. So write down something right now. It's just, what's the fundamental reason your company exists? And then your 100-year vision is the ultra long-term dream of what your company is building. It is the brighter, better world. So you can start your company vision by saying, our company vision is a world where, and then you describe the positive vision of what becomes possible because your company exists. And it's a very big picture, 100-year vision that certainly is going to transcend you. And that is a big part of the purpose. So now that you've considered your core purpose and you have an idea of where you're going over 100 years, and it's aspirational, now you can start to really envision the slightly more near-term impact you crave. So take a moment and just close your eyes, breathe, and really ask, what impact do I long to bring about through my business? Or if you're listening with your team, what impact do you together want to bring through your company? So think about the people that you serve and what is you would really like the transformation to be for them. Perhaps it's a healthier life, financial independence, maybe access to education, maybe it's a greener planet, maybe it's some kind of happiness or some kind of beauty. So whatever resonates with your purpose. And what impact for others will simultaneously drive the financial security and profitability of your business? So this second part is key. We're looking for that sweet spot where doing good for others also brings success for the company. So jot down any ideas that come to you. So we're going to think about this in a couple ways, but we want to look at this 10-year goal through a couple of lenses. So volume. So at the bottom of page 1, we're really asking you to think about volume. Think about the scale. Where do you want to be in 10 years? What do you want your company's customer reach to be? So 10 years from now, where do you want to go? If you serve 100 customers today, could it be that in 10 years you want to serve 1,000? Or maybe you want to be serving 1 million, or maybe even 10 million, right? It depends on your business. So maybe you're in 3 cities now, and you could see that you in 10 years want to have a nationwide goal, or maybe even a global goal. So this is about this first way of looking, this first filter is around the quantity of lives or units that you are going to impact. So, how many are you going to serve? How many is going to experience the goodness of your business? For example, one company might say, in a decade, we want to reach 1 million households with our clean energy solutions. So think about it. What are your volume growth goals? How many customers, be it people, businesses, communities, do you hope will achieve the results your company aims to deliver? So write down a few possibilities for 10-year volume-based goals. It's a great way to start. So when I started Illume in 2018, we had a 10-year goal. And so our goal at the time was to double access for complex care nursing patients. We wanted to double it from 200 to 400 patients in our state. So notice how that specific goal, doubling patients from 200 to 400 by 2030, was a specific volume goal, number of patients. And it was tied to our impact being access to care. So you might have a similar numeric target in mind. All right. So that is the first filter. And we go on to the next page. Let's see. We go on to the next page and you continue to look at the possible ways you can impact. And here's where we ask about customer results. What's the specific outcome per customer that we want to deliver? So on page 2 of the Impact Goal Distiller, we move into this. So here we shift from how many you serve to what each one gets, what each person, company, patient, community, whatever, however you are counting, whatever they get. So if each customer could achieve a remarkable result through your offering, what would that be? For instance, if you provide an educational service, maybe each student improves their test scores by 50%. Or if you offer a financial product, maybe each client doubles their savings. Or if you run a health clinic, maybe each patient reaches a health milestone. So again, think about the specific measurable outcome that you would long for and your customer would long for through your company. Quantify the number of customers who can achieve that specific result. So this lens really gets at the quality of your impact, not just how many, right? So sometimes we talk about goals and we say, well, we want to grow our company from X revenue to Y, or we want to increase the number of customers we serve and enough number of units we sell. But this is reframing into a question of quality. So another example is by 2033, our goal is to have 10,000 customers using our software to double their profitability within 12 months. See how that's exciting and inspiring? See how it focuses on which each customer achieves, doubling profitability, and aims for 10,000 such success stories. It's powerful here because it ties your growth to their success. That's key. It ties your growth to their success. Another way to look at this, and you could be still continuing to brainstorm here on page 2 of the 10-year Impact Goal Distiller, is the linked social benefit. So how does it benefit society? This could be another way you look at it. You widen your aperture. So beyond your direct customers, consider the ripple effect. If your business thrives and hits its 10-year goal, how is the broader community or world better? For example, a company that provides solar panels might frame a social benefit goal like by 2030, we will offset X tons of carbon emissions through our installations. Or a coaching business for entrepreneurs might say, oh, by 2030, we will contribute to the creation of 5,000 new jobs through the businesses we help launch. Isn't that one cool? I love that one. And These are indirect impacts. So maybe that's something that's really exciting for you, an indirect impact, important for purpose-led businesses. So where you link a social business, or so, excuse me, a linked a social benefit. Think in terms of the societal outcomes linked to your success. So a healthier community, reduced inequality, for example. So you could possibly write a goal like, by 2035, our success will mean fill in the blank, whatever that quantifiable social outcome might be. So even if your purpose is very business oriented, there's often a social angle. For instance, an efficient B2B service could free up time that people could spend with family, right? So just think creatively about the positive ripple effects from your company. The other way to look at this one is a desired internal transformation. So a company's internal transformation. It's asking the question, how will your company evolve over 10 years? So this lens turns inward, right? So a 10-year journey will transform not just your beneficiaries, but it'll also transform your organization. So imagine an internal achievement. Maybe you grow from 5 to 50, but more importantly, perhaps you're cultivating an amazing culture where people love to come to work, right? So it could have something to do with becoming a great place to work. Perhaps you'll implement a cutting edge innovative process or achieve a milestone like 50% of leadership roles are filled by women or people of diversity, or perhaps become a B Corp. These are some examples. So what's the internal change or growth you would love to see in your company over 10 years? These are often found within companies that are trying to retool for green manufacturing, or reduced in carbon emissions, or things like that. It could be other things where you're a technology that's curing cancer, for example. So it could be internal operations or discoveries that you're aiming to achieve over a 10-year period. It could be about your team. It could be about your capabilities. It could be about your company's infrastructure. So think about what you would want to create and brainstorm. Don't censor. Write down multiple ideas of what you might want to achieve over 10 years. So this is the creative phase, and the more possibilities, the better. Okay, so now we've got to this, and now we're going to move to the next section. Part two. Part two takes place, here we are, and it takes place, starts in the middle of the page. And so here's where you're going to select a 10-year impact goal. So you've brainstormed, right? And now you're going to select. So now that you've generated a range of exciting ideas, it's decision time. Let's walk through a process to hone in on that one impact goal. You want one impact goal that you will ultimately make a commitment. So first thing is, we're going to ask you to start thinking about your top 3 candidates. Start by scanning everything that you brainstormed in your first section 1, part 1. And you're going to select the top 3 ideas that stand out in your mind. So what are the top 3 specific measurable results you wish your company could achieve and will achieve over the next 10 years? So a good top 3 candidate goal meets several criteria right off the bat. All right. First, it resonates with the heart and the vision of your company. It aligns with your core purpose, your why. It achieves the necessary scale of impact you desire, the number of people or magnitude of change. And that scale would also correlate with the business achieving a certain level of profitability that you're aiming for. So, really, a high level of prosperity. So, it wants to have resonance, core purpose, the right scale of impact, the number of people or magnitude of change, and at a level that it's achieving robust profits. It's a 10-year goal. So, for example, a founder of a sustainable food company might have something like this. By 2035, provide 5 million people with daily access to affordable organic meals. That could be one. By 2035, eliminate 100,000 tons of plastic waste through our packaging innovations. Another option might be by 2035, achieve $100 million in annual revenue while maintaining carbon neutral operations. So, see how all three are an intersection between purpose and profit. It's just a question of which one is most compelling, right? So, each of these is measurable and compelling. Your three will be unique to your business. So, get a sense of which three are most compelling for you and your business and write those down right at the bottom of page 2. Now we're going to go to the next set of questions. Here we are. All right. So here we are. And now we're going to look at, we're going to look at evaluating inspiration. So here we are on the top of page 3, and we're going to apply some tests to help you review those 10-year impact goals and decide which one is going to inspire you the most. What's going to inspire your team? So look at each idea and ask yourself honestly, does this goal make me feel energized and passionate? And when I think about pursuing this goal for 10 years, will my team and customers feel inspired by it? So you want it to be a goal that you can share loud and proud, and that it's going to make your team members tell everybody about, because they're so excited that they're part of a company that's dedicated to this 10-year goal. Which of these goals would most inspire and move you and your team to overcome any challenge? So it's got to be big enough that they would want to fight for it. They would want to bring energy, enthusiasm, excitement into your team and customers and community. This is so important because a 10-year journey is going to have a lot of ups and downs, right? You want a goal that acts like a beacon of light. Something that even on challenging days reminds everyone why you do what you do, why everybody is working so hard and remains so committed. So, for example, you might have a goal that's like providing 5 million people with organic meals, right? That was one of the 3 that we were talking about in the example before. So the company is going to provide 5 million people with organic meals. And that might be incredibly inspiring to a team passionate about health and sustainability. They can visualize mothers, children, communities eating better because of their work. Another is eliminating plastic waste. Now that's the same company, but they might go the direction of eliminating plastic waste. And that might be equally inspiring if environmental impact is at the core of that business. The revenue goal, while important, might not stir heads and hearts in the same way unless it's tied to impact. So choose the goal that gives you a spark of excitement and motivation. One you success your team will rally behind, especially in the hardest of times. So maybe you find that one of your 3 that you chose stands out head and shoulders above the others in inspiration factor. If so, it could be your winner. So if 2 seem tied, keep them both in mind as we go on to the next test. So the next test is the momentum test. So this is the question. If we achieve this goal, would it create a domino effect for our other goals? Would it make many other challenges easier or even irrelevant. So in the tool, in the Distiller tool, it asks you which of these three desired results, when achieved, will bring the greatest momentum for your company. So when you're thinking about all the different goals that you might choose, which goal will bring energy? Which result will make the other outcomes easier or no longer necessary to accomplish? This is a brilliant way to identify a keystone goal. Sometimes one big goal by its nature includes or enables a lot of other things. So I want you to think about like each of these goals and which ones really would be like that. For example, going back to the same company with their three examples, the goal of serving 5 million meals, if that's your 10-year goal, 5 million meals. Accomplishing that goal might inherently mean you also hit certain revenue and operations targets, because to serve that many people, your business would have to grow financially too. Or a goal like eliminate 100,000 tons of plastic waste might require so much innovation and partnership that along the way, you also become the market leader covering a growth goal. Okay. So think about your three chosen top goals. Which one, if you pulled it off, would naturally check off some of the others on your list? The goal with the greatest multiplicative effect is a strong candidate to choose because it's efficient. You focus on the one thing and it gives you lots of benefits. Okay. So by now, you should have a pretty good sense of which of your impact goals scores highest on both inspiration and momentum. Ideally, one of your three stands out as both deeply inspiring and as a force multiplier for your company's success. This is likely to be your 10-year impact goal. All right, so continuing on then, you can see at the bottom of page 3, you're going to have the opportunity to fill in the goal. You're going to select an actual 10-year goal. So this is the fun part, putting your chosen goal into words. So at the bottom of page 3 of the 10-year impact goal distiller, you're going to go ahead and write it down. So we want a clear, concise, and specific statement. And this distiller provides a helpful Mad Lib, fill in the blank format to ensure you include all the key elements, which are a deadline, a number, and a result. So here's how it goes. By date, our 10-year impact goal is to help X number of customers achieve a specific desired result. Okay, so let's break that down. So by date, so you're going to identify a date, set a target date or year about 10 years out. Today is 2025. You might write by December 31st, 2035, or simply 2035. A specific date is powerful. It creates a sense of deadline and urgency. And if you don't have a date, what ends up happening is you say, we're going to do this thing, but you never have a specific timeline. So you give yourself a date. So 10 years is guidance on the 10-year impact goal, but you might have a reason to make it shorter or longer. Maybe there's something else going on in the world that is 12 years away or 8 years away. So 10 years is the guideline, but you might choose slightly more, slightly less. The key is roughly a decade, enough time to be ambitious, but not necessarily fixed in time. So you pick a date. Next is the number of customers. So this is where you get quantitative. It's the quantitative scope of your goal. How many people or units will you impact? It could be customers, beneficiaries, users, patients, clients. Use the term that fits your business context. So the number should be bold, but attainable with effort. This number is often what you came up with in part one under the volume section, for example, a million people or 500 organizations, right? So this is the number that are going to be impacted. And then the next piece that you're going to fill in the Mad Lib is the specific result. So this is the outcome or the transformation you want those people to experience, right? So use an action verb that fits. For example, maybe they want to maybe you want to help your constituents achieve higher incomes or experienced improved health or receive quality education. So you're going to use that language of transformation or result to put into your goal. Whatever describes the benefit or change you hope your customers can achieve. Be as specific about this result as you can, even if it's a single phrase. So write out your first draft of the statement right now. Don't worry if it feels like a mouthful or if it's clunky. You're going to be able to have plenty of opportunities to refine it. The key is that it should be unambiguous and measurable. Anyone who reads it should know exactly what you're talking about. It shouldn't be nebulous. So by 2035, our 10-year impact goal is to help 3 million women entrepreneurs achieve financial independence through tailored financial products and education. So it's clear, 3 million women, financial independence by 2035. So you can visualize the impact and also infer the business success implied. 3 million people. Another example, by 2030, we will help 10 million consumers enjoy sustainably sourced, healthy food that benefits both their health and the environment. Again, clear and inspiring. So take a moment to craft your statement. This will be the crown jewel of today's exercise. It might feel challenging to get the words right. That's normal. Play with it until it resonates with you and you can practically feel the impact when you read it. Okay, so moving on. Now we're going to go into part 3. All right, so you've got your first draft. You used the Mad Lib. And now we're going to go to this next section, part 3, test, edit, and finalize. It's time to put your 10-year impact goal through a little bit of a stress test. We want to ensure the goal will stand strong over the next decade. So think of part 3 as the quality control for your goal. So let's go through these test questions one by one, applying them to your drafted goal. And it might help you to actually mark yes or no on paper in the actual impact 10-year impact goal distiller so that you can really track yes or no as the answer. So the first test is regarding this goal. Is it true for you? Your goal must be authentic. It should stem from what genuinely matters to you and your company. And it shouldn't be about what you think you should care about or what sounds impressive to others. Avoid an artificial connection to a cause or a result that isn't really true to the company's DNA. For instance, if your heart is in education and empowerment, but you set a goal about, say, technology for technology's sake, but because it sounds grand, it may not ring true. So when your goal is true to you and to your stakeholders, you'll have a deep well of motivation to draw from it. So just ask yourself, does this goal make you feel a sense of personal mission? Does it reflect your organization's true DNA? Okay, the next question is it truly transformational? Does achieving this goal lead to a real transformation for those you serve or for society at large? We're aiming beyond incremental improvements here. Think in terms of a significant before and after difference that you can help the world or your constituents achieve. For example, helping 1,000 families move from homelessness to stable housing. That's awesome. Is transformational for those families. Does your goal speak to a true transformation for customers, community, or society? And again, is it a transformation that would really light up the heart of your customer? Look at the result part of your statement. Is it describing a meaningful change, healthier life, thriving business, cleaner environment? So transformational goals are inherently inspiring because they promise a better future state. So is it transformational? Next, is it embedded in your 100-year company vision? This goes back to alignment with your earlier vision work. So your 10-year goal should be a natural extension of your long-term vision. So does this goal represent a first big milestone toward realizing your company's 100-year vision? It really will match up. If your 100-year vision is a world with, say, equal access to education, is your 10-year goal a step in that direction, like reaching X number of learners? It needs to fit within the narrative of where your company is headed and what it already stands for. So if it feels off track or unrelated, just tweak it. You may need to realign it. Ideally, when you achieve this 10-year goal, you should be significantly closer to your ultimate vision. Now, that said, you may find that you're really clear about what this 10-year goal is, and that might actually prompt you to alter something about your 100-year vision. Maybe now you're clearer about what your 100-year vision is because you can see clearly what that first big 10-year milestone is. So it's connected. Is it embedded in your vision? Is your vision, your long-term vision, and your 10-year goal, is it connected? Next question, will it matter in 10 years? So some goals sound exciting right now, or maybe it's exciting because you need it right now and it feels urgent, but it might not hold the same level of significance over a whole decade, right? So when JFK decided that we were going to the moon, we are going to the moon this decade or shorter, it was inspirational. It was a very inspiring, and we really didn't even know how we were going to do it as a country. So you want your goal to be something that matters for 10 years. And then at the end of that 10 years, you're still going to want to go to the moon. It's still going to be really great when you hit the moon. So ensure your goal addresses something that will be relevant and motivating many years down the road. So, for example, a goal tied to a fleeting trend might lose luster if that trend fades. But a goal addressing a fundamental need or enduring purpose like sustainability, health, empowerment will likely remain vital. So ask yourself, will I and my team still care deeply about this goal in 5, 7, and 10 years? You want the goal to continue to inspire every time you revisit it. You want to feel the connection to it day after day, month after month, year after year. All right, next test. Is it concurrent with desired profitability? So in the Force for Good system, there's a moment in time in the book and in the journey where we step aside and we ask about, what does prosperity look like for you, the founder? And so this is kind of starting to think about this, and it's, what does the profitability of the company need to be? And so remember, this is impact. Remember, this is the impact goal, but in our framework, impact and profit always need to go together. So verify if we hit this goal, will the business be hitting its financial success goals? So this is a pragmatic check. For example, if your goal is to serve 1 million people, is your business model such that serving 1 million people means financial success? Does it mean you're profitable? Profitable enough to cover all your costs, invest in your team, invest in your product and systems, and still have you taking home a salary and distributions that make you feel abundant, allow you to invest in the things you want to invest in? So it needs to have enough profit at the scale and at the impact in order for you to be prosperous. So ideally, yes, the goal should be designed so that the impact achievement equals business success as well as your personal desire for financial success. So if it's not, you may need to refine your goal to better incorporate a profitability growth element, or to ensure your strategy can monetize or fund the impact appropriately. A goal that bankrupts the company on the way to achieving the goal is not the right goal here. We want impact and profit hand in hand as a dual win. Got it? All right. Is it specific? So here's where we bring in the SMART. Is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it achievable with greatness? So not achievable if you're all just kind of sitting back, but achievable with greatness. And is it resonant? Okay. So this is the one that's often missed. Is it emotionally and culturally resonant in your company, with your team, and with your constituents? Does the goal connect your company values and story to your company inception story? Is it all connected? So it needs to resonate. And then last but not least, is it time bound? So now you've had time to look at all these different tests, and you've had a chance to take a look at your answers. And if you get a yes, that you can say yes about, yes, it's true, it's transformational, it's embedded in your vision, will matter in 10 years, it's concurrent with desired profitability, and it's SMART, then fantastic. Great. Your goal is looking very strong. If you have any no's or maybes, that's totally okay. This is the moment to edit and refine your goal statement. It's much easier to tweak now. See how easy it is once you get something written down? Now you can tweak it, and you can now show it to other people, and they can help you on your team, or maybe a mentor or someone on your board, perhaps. You could run a workshop, right? So it's this opportunity now that you've got a draft that you can really refine it. So if it wasn't true for you, something wasn't in the test true for you, ask why. Maybe it felt it was more what others expect, right? Adjust it to what you and your company truly cares about, even if that means changing the focus a little bit. If it wasn't really transformational enough, perhaps amplify the result, make it bolder, more meaningful, or even more specific. Sometimes, if the transformation isn't specific, it doesn't feel as desirable, right? So, homeless people now living in a stable home, that's specific, right? So, allow yourself, I like the one about 5,000 jobs created. So we're going to help entrepreneurs create 5,000 jobs. That's specific. And so make sure that that transformation is bold and specific. And then we do go right into the rest of the specific, measurable, et cetera. So if it wasn't specific, add detail, change significant improvement to 50% improvement, for example. If it wasn't resonant, consider rewording it to make it more inspiring. Sometimes adding a descriptive word. Instead of successful businesses, say thriving, self-sustaining businesses. Be more specific. Whatever gives color that aligns your values. So you just keep refining until you can go down the list and confidently mark yes to each of these tests. Isn't that cool? I think it's so fun. It helps you really figure out the goal that's going to matter most to you. And so now we're in the last part here, right? We're in the final page, and this is where you're going to write down your final impact goal. And so I always say final is never really true, because the Force for Good system invites you to always have the safety and freedom of iteration. So right now you've chosen something, and right now it's perfect for right now. And maybe you'll adjust it, or maybe it'll be the Mount Everest that you in fact climb. And that is fantastic. Either way is good. So once you're satisfied, write down your final 10-year impact goal. And there's something powerful, I would say, about declaring it. So say it out loud. Our 10-year impact goal is, and speak it out loud. Repeat it. I encourage you to, like, after this masterclass, to say it 20 times out loud. And you're going to hear it in different ways, and maybe you'll tweak things. It'll start to settle in your bones, in your cells. And just allow yourself now to take a moment to congratulate yourself and your team. Consider this a moment of victory. You have written down a decade's worth of ambition in a clear goal. So really acknowledge yourself. This goal will serve as a beacon guiding you for the next 10 years. Not everyone takes time to do this. This is the rare few. But those who do this have the ability to cast forth clarity of a whole decade out, gives you true stewardship with your business, and it sets you apart as a visionary leader. So at this point, give yourself a big pat on the back. You have a final refined 10-year impact goal. All right, next we're going to start on how you're going to achieve that goal. So moving on here, we're going to acknowledge for ourselves the vision that you've taken and what it's given to you. So before we talk about implementation of a goal, it's valuable at this point to pause and reflect. You've done some very deep work today in a short time. Let's acknowledge some key insights. First, alignment and profit. And purpose. Alignment of purpose and profit. One profound insight from this process is recognizing that your purpose and profit can align seamlessly. See that? See how it's already come together. They're together. Your 10-year impact goal is not just a feel-good mission, and it's not just a cold business metric. It's both. For example, if your goal is to help 3 million women achieve financial independence, built into this huge business growth story, reaching 3 million customers, you have the ability to also connect with your purpose. We explicitly looked for a goal that ties impact to business success, and you found it. So this alignment is powerful. Number two, you were able to identify visionary mindset. So we don't always spend time in the visionary mindset space. So you were thinking today 10x, not 10%. So another takeaway here is this shift in mindset where you extend your impact, right? You really extend your impact to 10 years. Goals that seemed out of reach in the short term because plausible and exciting when given a decade to unfold. So we often underestimate the possibilities of 10 years. So now you've felt what it's like to break that limiting belief. And perhaps you wrote down a number or an outcome that initially made you kind of queasy. And then you realize, actually, in 10 years, I could do this. We as a team can put persistent effort, and this can happen. So that's a visionary mindset. So keep practicing it. Whenever you feel stuck in short term limitations, remember to cast your gaze further. You've learned to ask bigger questions today, not how do we increase 10%, but how do we increase tenfold in a decade? This kind of thinking will unleash way more creative strategies and bold moves in your leadership. Next, you created inspiration as a strategic asset. All right. So, inspiration as fuel. So, you discovered the importance of an inspiring goal that resonates with your team, with yourself. This isn't just a touchy feely exercise, it's strategic. An inspired team will overcome any obstacles. They will run through walls if they are feeling like it's important. That's what you want to achieve here. So, by selecting a goal that truly matters, you've essentially secured a decade's worth of motivation. So, every time you communicate this goal, you're telling a story that can ignite passion in employees, investors, partners, customers. And this is a huge asset. Also, you'll probably feel more invigorated having this clear purpose defined. It just allows everything to sort of settle in. This energy carries you through times, especially tough times. The lesson is to ensure your big goals always have the emotional hook, not just intellectual appeal. It will make a huge difference in your execution. Next is the one thing focus. All right. So we always think, oh, well, I have 10 goals. One goal, one strategic focus is a big deal. It is a game changer as a leader. A key strategic insight I invite you to take away is the power on focusing on one right big goal, the one that makes everything else easier. By asking which goal would create the greatest momentum, you've practiced the art of high leverage objectives. This teaches that doing less but better can lead to greater outcomes. And instead of chasing 10 objectives, you can align efforts behind one overarching goal and let it drive the rest. So going forward, use this principle again and again. When overwhelmed with options or initiatives, come back to your 10-year goal. It will act as a filter and a guide. If something doesn't serve the big goal, it's not to be putting your energy into it. Conversely, what you can do that has an outsized impact on reaching the goal is where you need to focus. This clarity of focus can be the biggest benefit for your company's productivity and scale and impact. So the power of commitment and clarity. So there's something almost magical about putting commitment to a goal. When you put a big goal into words and declaring it. Until now, maybe your vision was in your head or discussed loosely, but now it's a concrete goal. The moment you wrote it down and finalized it, it became a commitment. You've likely felt a shift, a mix of relief, finally, clarity, right? And determination. The clarity you've achieved will help you communicate to others and make decisions. It's easy to say no to distractions when you have a big yes written in front of you. So use that commitment and clarity. So reflect on these insights from this one goal. Alignment of purpose, long-term visionary thinking, the necessity of inspiration, focusing on a keystone goal, and the power of a written commitment. You're not just solving today's problems, you are becoming a stronger leader for the future. So celebrate these insights and any other insights you might have gotten along this path today. And again, be sure to now put your goal in the 4-page growth plan. Right? So here's the 4 pages. And right here on page 1 is where you're going to put it. You can get it at forceforgood.biz/weekly tool. It's free. If you go there by April the 13th and pick it up, and you'll be able to download it, listen to this recording, assign it to your team if you like. And now let's talk about two ways to immediately move forward the goal. So first is your high leverage habits. And these are habits that guarantee breakthrough results. So which habits can propel your company towards your 10-year impact goal? So ask yourself, what's one new weekly repeatable habit that you can commit to implementing this week to share your 10-year impact goal? So you could have a weekly goal review. So every week you can set up a time on your calendar where you take 30 minutes to review your 10-year goal and plan key actions for the week that align with it. And this could be a goal that a weekly time that you do yourself. It could be on a Sunday afternoon or on a Monday morning as you think about the week ahead. Another idea is a team impact goal. So this is a habit again. Let's hold a short weekly or bi-weekly team meeting focused purely on impact progress and share customer success, update your metrics towards your goals, and celebrate wins. So this ritual reinforces purpose and enthusiasm continuously and helps you stay focused on the goal. You might implement a habit of daily focus time. Block out a decade hour or a set time, or it could be 5 minutes each day for strategic work related to your 10-year goal. So during this time, you're going to say, okay, I'm going to focus on just this. No emails, no firefighting, no picking up the phone and answering somebody's call. This consistent, deep work on strategic initiatives is a habit that can really set you free. You might decide you're going to do a monthly vision reflection. I love this one. Once a month, take time to write in a journal or discuss with a mentor how your recent decisions and activities are contributing to that 10-year goal. And I love this last one too, this personal well-being ritual. You might decide to adopt a personal habit, like a morning routine of exercise or meditation to maintain your energy and clarity as a leader. And a healthy, focused leader is better equipped to drive a big vision. So this is a high leverage habit because your well-being impacts your performance and your team's morale greatly. So maybe you have a meditation, and in that meditation, you take a moment to bring to your heart that goal. So this is right now, decide one habit you're going to implement over the next 7 days to help you move your incredible 10-year impact goal forward a little at a time. The next is a high potency action. So this is a single strategic action you can take in the next week that will create significant momentum toward your goal. So what is a specific one-time thing you can do that will move this baby forward, that will get it started? A team alignment meeting. Bring together your team. Launch and unveil your new 10-year impact goal. Spend time sharing the vision and brainstorming everyone's role to achieve it. Do that. Put it on the calendar. Could reach out to a mentor or advisor, a board member, and invite them to come, and you could spend some time with them and tell them about the goal and ask them for ideas and feedback. You could initiate a key partnership. Identify one partner or organization that could significantly amplify the reach that allows you to go after that goal. So send an email or make a call to initiate that contact. So if your goal involves reaching millions of people, partnership with a large network or platform could be that first step, right? Starting that dialogue now is the first big moment of action. You could pilot a mini project. So launch a very small scale project or experiment that aligns with your 10-year goal. If your goal is to educate millions, perhaps host a free webinar or workshop this week for your community on the same topic. It's a quick win that tests your ideas and creates that momentum. And another idea here is resource reallocation. Okay, putting your resources where your goal is. Make one decisive change on how you allocate your time or budget this week. So I would tell you that with these high impact goals, we put more money, more time into these high impact goals because these are the things we bet on. So free up an extra 2 hours in your schedule and block it, especially for strategic work, or allocate a budget to do research or technology or hire a person, whatever it is that supports this goal. This sends a strong signal to yourself and to others that you're serious about prioritizing this goal. Super exciting. All right. You've defined your 10-year impact goal. You've integrated into your 4-page growth plan. You've discussed and integrated all kinds of really important insights that are helping you become a better leader. And if you pass it on to your team, you're going to help them become better leaders. And you've identified a high leverage habit, something you're going to do ongoing, and a single one-time potent action that will move everything forward in the direction of that goal. And do this over the next week. And if you haven't already, download the 10-year impact goal, impact goal distiller. Sign up for it at aforceforgood.biz/weekly tool. And when you go there, you're going to get the tool of the week. You'll also get the Force for Good essential tools, the 4-page growth plan, the transformational map, and the 7 rituals of innovation. You'll get those and you'll be able to start those are the 3 primary tools of the whole Force for Good system. So every week we have a mini masterclass where we do live, and then I schedule out the recordings. And so you'll get that by signing up for the Force for Good tool of the week. And you can also get access to all of the tools when you buy the book. It's $26. Purchase the book and gain access and receive all of the tools, instructions for each tool, and the full system. aforceforgood.biz/book. And you can also participate in the Growth Accelerator. It's a 12-module online system. It integrates all of these tools, all of these master classes, so that you can really quickly put together and implement the Force for Good system, videos, tools, assessments, alone or with your team. You can get it at aforceforgood.biz/accelerator. So thank you. Thank you for being on this journey with me. I appreciate the person that you are, the success that you're building in the world, the impact that you're bringing. And I look forward to having this time with you again very soon. The world is made better by women-led business. Let's go make the world a better place. Cheers.